Hello, welcome to Spelljammer Academy Behold Hakatha, which is the fourth part and final part of this free four-part adventure for Spelljammer New Adventures. As the last three episodes, I'm going to be walking you through to help prepare, really. So you can go back and watch the other three videos as well, so you understand the story. Otherwise, let's just crack on. So for us DMs, the background here, giving an overview. Tasked with retrieving a meteorite from planet Hakatha, the characters and their fellow Spelljammer Academy cadets boarded a derelict tyrant ship. After installing a spelljamming crystal aboard the ship, the characters ran into some trouble. A fire aboard the tyrant ship killed Petty Officer Rebeck. An investigation revealed Cadet Mikan Haverstance to be the saboteur. After his capture and interrogation, Mikan told the characters he'd been hired by a Mercane, a blue-skinned giant, who holds a grudge against one of Spelljammer Academy's founders, Mert the Merciless. And it says here, the Mercane's name is Vokath. Although neither Mikan nor the characters are aware of that, I distinctly remember one of the text boxes at the end of maybe the first adventure or the second adventure, probably the second, saying Vokath. That sounds like his sort of work. I think they do know. So that's strange. Despite setbacks, the characters are authorised to resume their mission to Hakatha. The skies above Hakatha are patrolled by beholder tyrant ships. The characters' goal is straightforward: slip past the planet's defences, find the meteorite and bring it back to Spelljammer Academy. So we'll skip over the three parts, because we're going to do them anyway. If one or more of the characters died in the last adventure, do you just get a new cadet and have the others explain what's been going on? The characters have a rendezvous with the flighty foundling before resuming the voyage as described in part 1. The Spindle. In this part, the characters arrive at planet Hakatha in search of a meteorite at the base of the Spindle, which is a mountain. They encounter others who also appreciate the meteorite's value. Okay. After securing the tyrant ship and capturing Mikan, the characters wait for flighty foundling to double back to take Mikan into custody. It actually goes through this again in a minute, so let's just get into it. The flighty foundling returns to Toril while with the other cadets and the autognome Wizpop, which is a real shame because I wanted Wizpop to come along with us, but straight away he's going. But your destiny lies elsewhere. You must remain aboard the tyrant ship, but you won't be travelling to Hakatha by yourselves. Faculty members Saerth Abazine and Bosun Tato have taken command of the ship and brought more supplies with them. Tato grimaces and gnaws on her cigar as she assigns you to dull tasks. Saerth takes control of the tyrant ship's newly installed Spelljammer helm, so she does all the flying. The trek to Hakatha takes many days, and the planet's description doesn't do it justice. Hakatha is a watery disk thousands of miles wide with a towering mountain called the Spindle at its centre. Saerth manoeuvres the tyrant ship so that it hovers a few feet above the surface of the water at the Spindle's edge. Bosun Tato flicks away the stub of her smouldering cigar as she orders you to unfurl a rope ladder. Here's the deal, see? You have one sending stone and I have the other. When you find the meteorite, contact me and let me know, then await further instructions. Tato tosses you a satchel. This here is a bag of holding. You can use it to contain the meteorite. The impact site is nearby. If the meteorite isn't there, search the nearby caves. Saerth and I will stay here and guard the ship. That's better. My light was dying. Keep track of who has the other sending stone and the bag of holding. Once the characters climb down the rope ladder to exit the tyrant ship, they can see the surroundings more clearly. They are standing on the rocky shore of the Spindle, a mountain bigger than any they've seen before. The sun is a distant speck, and daylight on Hakatha is no brighter than a starry night on Toril. We've read that before. Hakatha. Disc-shaped water world with a single large spindle jutting from its centre. The disc tapers at the edge to form a rim. The Spindle is 200 miles across its base and tapers up to 1,000 miles above sea level. It's a dimly lit sky. The distant sun provides little warmth and illumination. So people without dark vision have to have light sources, I would say. But remember that people with dark vision can still only see like blurry black and white after a while off. They can't like just see X-ray vision. So rocky ground is worn smooth by the gentle waves that extend 500 feet from the water's edge to the Spindle's sheer cliffs. Nothing stirs in the shallow water where you are. In the distance, however, seabirds call to each other, swooping and diving for food. We've already met these two. You should be familiar with those NPCs. In the dim light of the distant sun, you can see a blemish on the face of the Spindle, where something must have struck it at great speed, shattering the rock and leaving a huge indentation. Whatever struck the mountainside tumbled down towards the shore, leaving a furrow of melted rock. So now we have to search. Characters find where the meteor struck, but they can't find the meteorite itself. Characters who search where it came to rest find basically a cave. Any character and finds tracks. Any character who examines the tracks and succeeds on a survival check of 10 identifies them as a large giant of some kind, possibly an ogre, but I would probably leave that off. I'd say a giant of some kind. A little bit of mystery. So they follow the tracks, basically. They follow the tracks in here from this direction up to a lookout point, looking over here. This is like, you know, means that it's up high. So this is up high, this is up high, this is down low. Well, this is obviously a ramp going downwards. Anyway. The 15-foot wide passage opens into a large rough chamber with a sunken floor. A misshapen, vaguely oblong lump of metal sits in the middle of the chamber. A sliver of light streaming down on it from the hole in the cavern ceiling gives it a dark blue sheen. Hovering near the meteorite are two identical creatures, each one a slimy green orb with a large central eye and 4 writhing eye stalks. Gathered around them are half a dozen smaller creatures of similar shape, each no bigger than a grapefruit. Sitting on a 5-foot high shelf overlooking the chamber is a massive yellow-skinned ogre with 1 Cyclopean eye. The ogre yawns and blinks slowly, appearing rather tired. The meteorite is here. We come from the northwest tunnel, which I just showed you. Northwest. Multiple exits. The cavern has multiple exits that lead deeper into a vast network of tunnels. If the players want to go wandering off, they just find loads and loads of tunnels, and then it's like survival checks to get back to this part. You could even make them find a dead body or two with some helpful nuggets or, you know, different things like gold pieces, candles. I don't know. It's just random tat. A picture of a loved one, you know. But give them something if they go off exploring. The meteorite looks like it was dropped in the middle of the floor. A 500-pound hunk of blackened metal takes on a dark blue sheen when its surface is illuminated. The meteorite is 2 feet long, 18 inches wide, 18 inches tall. It can fit beautifully inside the bag of holding because that has a 2-foot wide opening. Players love bags of holding. It can hold up to 500 pounds. It's a lot of maths. Just after we've put loads of stuff in, start thinking, hey, they've put a lot in that bag of holding. If it tears at all, everything just bursts out of it because it goes into an extra dimensional space. It's a magic bag. But yeah, if they get into a fight or roll an at one, maybe they snag it on a sharp bit of wall, and yeah, everything just froze out. However, 2 spectators, which you can see in this screen. Let's see if there's a picture. Yes. 2 of these. Beholders are nasty, but the actual big beholders aren't in this. These are the beholderkin, I think. So, medium aberration, lawful neutral. The thing about beholders, as cool as they are, and they do fly, they're never on the floor, so you can't just walk up to them and melee them because they'll just move out your way. Is that they have these eye rays. The spectator shoots up to 2 of these following 4 rays. That's its attack. It can use each ray only once on a turn. You're supposed to roll a d4 twice to get the numbers of what it uses, re-rolling duplicates. Or you can just pick to what use against what target you want, because some people are like good at con saves or wisdom saves. You want to try and hurt your players, but it's whether you're so basically it's confusion, so that's a wisdom save. You want to confuse all spellcasters really. Paralyzing ray for your big hitters, fear ray for someone you just want to have to run away and have disadvantage on things, and a wounding ray is just nasty necrotic damage, evil damage. Reactions, so this doesn't have to happen on its turn. When somebody casts a spell at it and it makes that save, it can make that attack bounce off it and either hit the person who's trying to do the spell or one of the teammates. That's good fun in my opinion. So there's 2 of those. So you've got on the beholder's round, on the spectator's round, you have like 4 attacks with these rays. And they're not alone. There are 6 of these watermelon gazers. Now these are small, but they do have 4 rays. So 6 of those with telekinetic ray, frost ray, fear ray, dazing ray, and aggressive bonus actions. It can move out of there up towards. It can only move towards a hostile creature. You need to again make cards. Right, dazing ray, 12 wisdom, charmed, and hopefully you're aware that what charm does. It makes the target be pliant. Fear ray, frost ray. Yeah, that is as deadly as you want to make it, but the idea is that it's not really a deadly encounter until it kicks off, because it's more of a persuasion thing, as you'll see. 2 spectators and 6 gazers gather around the meteorite. The spectators can't decide which of them should guard the meteorite. They are anxious for someone to help resolve their dispute. The gazers were drawn to the cavern by the spectators' argument, but lack the intelligence to be of assistance. The Cyclopean Auger, the Auger is a simple-minded brute who found the meteorite and brought it here. The Auger serves a powerful beholder named Kurzot, who, fortunately, lives deeper in the mountain and doesn't appear here, because that would just kill everybody. It doesn't take the beholderkin long to realise that intruders have arrived. After a brief telepathic conference, the spectators use their telepathy to jointly reach out to the characters. So yeah, voices in their heads. Now, if I haven't mentioned already, at the end of the last adventure it didn't specifically say, or I didn't spot it, that they'd levelled up again. So they're meant to be level 4 here. Bear that in mind. An alien voice in your head says, "Mysterious outsiders, I am Spectator Greelob. This is Spectator Orlob. Each of us claiming the right to guard this strange meteorite, but only one of us may do so." And another voice, "We call upon you to mediate our dispute at once." So, I would possibly use grapes, the fruit grapes, to represent these little floating green orbs. That's just me. Greelob and Orlob feel compelled to guard the meteorite because it seems like a worthwhile treasure to protect. However, neither spectator tolerates the other's help. They both want to guard the meteorite. Neither Greelob nor Orlob were told to guard the meteorite. The cavern is the Cyclops' the ogre's... Oh, stop saying that. The ogre's lair. The spectators just happened by after hearing the ogre drop the meteorite on the floor. Greelob arrived first, followed by Orlob and the gazers. They want the characters to choose a guardian, but making a simple choice isn't enough to satisfy either. The character's proposal must include a reasonable explanation. This explanation could be as simple as Greelob arrived first. Let's all move on. Alternatively, the characters can claim that neither of them should guard the meteorite because it's the ogre that found it and brought it here. It's a persuasion check of 13 to succeed in convincing the spectators. If one or more characters succeed on the check, the spectators settle the dispute in the way the characters suggest. Let's be honest, they're probably going to say fight to the death. If no character succeeds on the check, they refuse, and the characters have to make a different suggestion. If a spectator ends up guarding the meteorite, the other one takes itself and all the other gazers away. Just the ogre and one spectator remains. If the ogre ends up as the meteorite's guardian, both spectators and all the grapes go away without any fuss. However, combat. The spectators won't allow the characters to claim the meteorite while they're around. If combat erupts, the spectators defend the meteorite. The gazers scatter and flee in terror. I would have them not go too far. Just in case you need them to give the players as good as they're giving your enemies. Once the players have got the meteorite, you can use your sending stone to contact Tarto, or they can simply head back to the tyrant ship. If they use the stone, get back to the ship, this planet gives me the creeps. The characters have no encounters on their way back to the tyrant ship. Boring. I would have, as they're walking, like a crack emerge as all the weight of everything, and they have to find a way to traverse this crack, be that building a bridge, using ropes and a pulley system. I would give them a little bit of an environmental, even avoiding a rock fall, you know, something just more than just they walk back. Duh. Once they climb the rope ladder and get back aboard, Tarto takes back the sending stone and the bag of holding. They take the bag of holding off them. Say Earth flies the ship away, slipping past all the other tyrant ships really well. Lighting a cigar, Tarto says, "Now comes the easy part." So, in number 2, they're flying away. They got out of there easily because Say Earth's a good pilot. It has been a few uneventful days, except for the revelation that Say Earth is an excellent dragon chess player. So why don't we throw in some good dice rolls on playing chess against Say Earth? Do it like roll each. Say Earth rolls a d20 and adds the wisdom if he's so intelligent, or he or she, and your players can roll a d20 and do it like 6 times, and whoever gets the d20 rolls and add in their wisdom is like outwits the other person. Or do it until you get three ticks to your wisdom rolls, and then 3 ticks from Say Earth. You know, try and be the first to 3. So you know what I mean? Try and make something out of it. Tarto continues your training to keep your edge and stave your boredom. So you could make up some physical activity, do it using athletics rolls, you know, sprints around the ship. I don't know, just try and think of other roles that they don't normally, haven't been using a lot. You've now memorised each card in the Wild Space Creatures Silhouettes deck she brought along. You've gathered on the command deck at mealtime when Say Earth says, "Feels like an asteroid coming up on us. As the ship slows down, Sayeth remarks, "I'm sure I'm right, but go get a visual to confirm." Tato hands you back the sending stone. "Just in case. Now, go stretch them legs." The characters go down to the hollow deck, climbing down the ladders, going down the gravity plane, looking out. A rocky debris field floats just outside your ship's air envelope, about half a mile away. A pock-marked asteroid rotates slowly. The asteroid is at least 3 times larger than your vessel. Attempting to hide behind the asteroid is a damselfly ship crewed by Githyanki. A DC-18 perception check sees a small glint suggestive of a metallic vessel moments before it disappears behind the asteroid. If the characters use a sending stone back to Tato, she has a hunch that the ship is a pirate ship. You see a strange distortion in space moments before a winged, shark-like creature appears in front of you. It's coming out of invisibility cloak. It has blue skin, 4 wings, and a horn-like protrusion on its head. An armoured figure rides on its back. The rider says, "Hail to you." Probably not in that voice, because "Hail to you! I've come to retrieve something that is of interest to my employer. Please produce the human named Mikan Haverstance, and all will be well." Yeah, like I say, I can't do voices, but I do them anyway. Kitru, a Githyanki warrior. Let's have a check it out here. Like so. Pretty awesome looking. Multi-attack with his greatsword. Psionics. Beep, beep. He can do mage hand when he wants. Jump, misty step, and non-detection. What's his health like? Average of 49. He rides this Star Lancer winged shark thing. 60 health. Resistances, radiant damage. Has telepathy. Doesn't provoke opportunity attacks when it flies out of the enemy's reach. As its horn attack and can go invisible. The Star Lancer used Invincibility Cloak to approach the Tyrant ship unseen. Kitru is the first officer aboard the damselfly ship lurking behind the asteroid. So this thing boards one of the damselflies. There's a few damselfly ships dispatched through realm space to intercept the characters and retrieve Mikan, so they try to be ambushed and caught. Kitru and her Githyanki shipmates were told that Mikan is travelling aboard the Tyrant ship. Kitru's ship was positioned in just the right place at the right time to intercept you. Kitru doesn't know the Tyrant ship's capabilities, so she's not willing to risk her entire crew to retrieve Mikan. If the characters tell Kitru that Mikan is not on board the ship, she assumes they are lying. "Why risk your lives to protect a traitor?" She then demands that they produce Mikan at once, and if you refuse, Kitru and the Star Lancer attack. If combat ensues, they move up to melee range. And then when Kitru or the Star Lancer has fewer than 20 health, it runs away. On its next turn, she orders the Star Lancer to retreat, but on its next turn, the Star Lancer uses Invisibility Cloak and flies back towards the asteroid. If it dies before it can escape, Kitru casts Misty Step, which I think I'd make that happen, whatever. She lets the star thingy fly back to the asteroid, but she teleports onto the ship and teleports next to a character and attacks with a greatsword, multi-attack. If a character uses Sending Stone to request for help, Tato comes and helps out. If you capture Kitru and her crew work for a Vokath. Vokath has several vessels looking for the ship. The damselfly hiding behind the asteroid has 4 Gith, which are the hippos, and 4 Githyanki, which are those cool dudes we looked at a moment ago. Strange sigil. Characters who look at Kitru, she has a tattoo on her arm. Detect magic, reveals its transmutation. It's a sigil. tattooed so you know that they work around the Mercane, who Mikan is also in league with. Seirth guides the Tyrant ship out of the debris field and towards Toril. The ship picks up speed at once and it gets a mile from the asteroid field. Spelljammer's priority is to get back to Toril and make sure Spelljammer Academy knows that Vokath has operatives searching for Mikan. Hopefully we'll get him before they do. The Damselfly ship has 4 Gith and 4 Githyanki, not including Kitru. As the Tyrant ship moves away from the asteroid, the Damselfly's Gith captain, Mustaf Schultz, instructs a ship's Spelljammer, a Githyanki named Nalvoro, to follow the Tyrant ship, keeping it at a safe distance. So they are being followed by an 8-crewed ship. 10 days after their encounter, we want to fill that up. We don't want to skip over 10 days. This is where you look up what is in Spelljammer space, wild space, and like there's dead gods, there's nebula of beautiful colours, other ships going past that may worry them. It's huge, or it's tiny little things, but loads of them. There's loads of astral fish in space. Give them something on day one. Give them something to do. Make them arm wrestle each other out of boredom. Strength checks. So 3 rolls, and whoever gets the most out of 3 rolls wins. Do it for money. Shortly after Seirth parks the Tyrant ship in orbit around Toril, the Hammerhead ship Flighty Foundling arrives to give you, Seirth and Tato a lift back to the Academy, and seasoned staff are left behind to take care of the Tyrant ship. After you return to Spelljammer Academy on Nimbrel, Tato tells you get some rest while she and Seirth brief the senior staff. Stay away from Mikan and report for maintenance work in the morning. The characters are not allowed to attend the senior staff or find Mikan. 2 veterans outside, which are meaty as hell, and the door has an arcane lock. Unless you know the word, you're not getting in. When the characters report the next day for maintenance, they have to scrub decks and make minor repairs. The Flighty Foundling is all parked up on the side of the Academy structure, 400 feet up above the sea deck. The character's work is interrupted by a strike force. Okay, let's take this as it comes. As you're deep in your tasks, a shadow of another ship passes over the deck of the Flighty Foundling. The ship looks like it's preparing to dock on the level directly above you. The ship looks like a giant metal insect, its hull gleaming in the sunlight. Ropes drop down from the vessel and land on the main deck, near the stern castle. 2 brawny, hippo-headed humans dressed for combat zip down the lines on steel loops. They land on the deck with a resounding thud. One of them points at you, snorts, and says, "Get off our ship!" As soon as the GIF lands on the Flighty Foundling, the Damselfly ship swings around to the other side of the Academy's tower to deposit men who are going to extract Mikan. Okay. 2 GIF shipmates. Take a look. No picture. Right, multi-attack straight away. Average of 8. Shoots for an average of 8. Has grenades. This is the real doozy. Okay. Oh, what does that say? The GIF has advantage and saves against being knocked prone or shoved. Yeah, because they're big meaty dudes. So, these big meaty dudes have orders to secure and find Mikan, dead or alive. The give the characters a chance to get off the vessel, or they can stand their ground. But if they do, they hurl grenades, and it's pretty damn terrible. If captured and interrogated, the GIF reveal that they take orders from Mustaf Schultz, the GIF captain, who then takes orders from Vokath. Schultz and his fellow GIF are mercenaries. Vokath pays them well. Alright, for this encounter, use this map. Now, these little rooms here have things such as room 5, head. I don't know what that is. I don't really know what a galley is, or a sail locker. Storage. So I would look up, if you really wanted, either what these words actually refer to on ships, or I would think about, that's where they keep the ammunition, that's where they keep all the cooking supplies. This is some crates of valuables, but it's probably got a really hard lock on the door. However you feel, whatever comes up. These weapons, the ballista takes 1 action to load, 1 action to aim, 1 action to fire. It's +6 to attack, deals 16 average damage. The hammerheads and mangonels are undergoing maintenance. Well, that's lucky, isn't it? A creature that is pushed over the edge of the ship must succeed on a DC 10 dex save, which is doable, but they could fail. On a fail, they plunge down into the water 400 feet below. 70 damage as they hit the water. 70. I would hope, it would be my plan that one of them goes overboard. You can kill a character. I would advise that you try your hardest to outright kill a character. Now, what I mean by that is they always have the chance to succeed. But if things go you want to try and kill a character, and they want to know you try to kill them. If you do, you've got so many NPCs. You've got so many. Oh, this cadet comes over and pulls your unconscious corpse out. Gives you a medicine check. You want them to know that they can die. This isn't a movie where everyone just will. They won't kill the hero. Kill a hero. Kill 2 heroes. You can bring them back. And if they're dead, that's D&D. Right as their fight with the gift concludes, the characters hear an explosion coming from the other side of the academy. Now they have to make a choice. Do they stay where they are, or do they run across to help other cadets? This is where you get some text talking about that, and then some text talking about that. Knowing the goddamn characters, some will do this, and some will do that. Let's look into that. If the characters leave the ship, so imagine everyone leaves the ship. They follow the sound of musket fire. You reach the bottom of the ship, the stairs even, and see a corridor filled with smoke. A half-dozen dead bodies litter the hallway floor. Coming towards you, obscured by smoke, are 2 gaunt figures, the Gith Yankee. One clutches a greatsword while the other holds a badly wounded Mikan. It's 10 foot wide and 60 feet to the bend at the south. Bodies of the floor are sailors, guards, and members of the extraction force, a Gith and a Gith Yankee. 2 rooms lie to the east, a laundry room and another dorm. Well, if they've got anything about them, the characters won't just stand in the corridor shooting or swinging. They'll use cover. They'll go half in and out of the door, peek round with any range and bob back. Cover, +2 to AC. Why not take it? The hallway has the following features: an errant grenade. One of the dead Gith's grenades has been released to pin, so it's just sat there on him. At the end of each turn in combat, roll a d6, and on a 6, the grenade goes off in a 20-foot radius. That's from the point, it's 20 forward, 20 back, 20 back. That's 4 squares off every point of this grenade. Now, I know it says on a 6. I would have it go off. I would simply say, right, dex save of 17, and hope that I can do 17 force damage to someone. Again, this is a war. It's a mini war. This area is brightly lit by continual flame, so there's no worries about light sources here. The smoke is from a smoke bomb, and it makes it lightly obscured. Disadvantage shooting into it, I believe. Probably. 2 wounded Githyanki with 30 health, and Mikan. The Githyanki are headed towards the flighty foundling when the characters intercept them. They don't bother engaging in dialogue. One of them grapples Mikan while the other attacks. Grapple. Okay, so let's talk about this. Grapple condition. When my players, I know from my own experience, generally says, I want to grapple him. It's like hold their arms and stop them from swinging. But when you look at the rules for grapple, it's more like grabbing a leg. They can still attack you. You use your action to make a special melee attack called a grapple. The target must be no more than one size larger than you. Using a free hand, you try and seize the target just by grabbing on the coat, by doing an athletics check, contested by their athletics check or their struggly acrobatics check. The target chooses which to use, their highest roll obviously. If you succeed, then it is grappled. A grappled creature can use its action to escape but must win the check. When you move, you can drag or carry the grappled creature like Mikan with you, but your speed is halved unless the creature is 2 sizes smaller than you. But yes, it's not the same as being restrained, where you've actually got hold of the arm. Like, it's restrained is normally pictured as arms in a web, but you can't do. With grappled, you've got someone getting hold of you. You can still shoot them, you know. You can still attack with a sword. Grapple is a bit of a weird one. It basically means movement is slowed. That's all it means. If one Githyanki falls in battle, the other Githyanki uses its action to slay Mikan and cut his head off. One hit will drop him to 0. The follow-up great sword attack will cut his head off. I think that's great. If the characters defeat the Githyanki before Mikan can be killed, he crumples to the ground, cries like a baby. Never fear, Wispop is here if they're struggling. Wispop jumps out of hiding. From a room nearby, a tinny voice quietly says, "Over here, I can help." Wispop is a non-combatant, but he will help you cause a distraction. Yeah, you can go and find help. You can you can medicine check a fallen hero. If he goes to find help, he can actually bring 2 veterans to help. I mean, that's, yeah. So make the fight deadly. Just you've got things to give to pull it back the other way. Alright, so that was if you went across the academy to help cadets. If they stay put, 2 gaunt figures in blood-splattered armour emerge from the academy onto the platform where your ship is moored. One clutches a greatsword, and the other holds a struggling, badly wounded Mikan. So it's the same kind of deal, but in 2 different places. So if your characters split up to do both, then Mikan can only be in one place, so pre-think where he is, but just give him another fight, just the same fight, somewhere else. So we already know about the ones who have Mikan. Yeah, cuts his head off, or tries. If the Githyanki defeat or drive off the characters, one of them begins controlling the Spelljammer helm, but it doesn't finish because Mert shows up to defeat the Githyanki. Okay, that's cool art. After the attack, characters who kill the Githyanki and examine them closely notice a sigil, as we've discussed. We know it's about, it's the Vokath sigil, worn by those who are closest to the Merkane. If the tattoos are brought to the attention of Sayath or Tartu, they mention it to Mert. Mert knows exactly what that means, and the characters are told as well. It is the mark of Vokath's personal retinue, his most trusted operatives. Right, if Mikan lives, he goes to prison for 5 years in a penal colony just on a small island off Sword Coast. He plans to turn over a new leaf. Damselfly. After dropping off the extraction force, the ship is chased away by another spelljamming vessel. The pursuing vessel, which is crewed by cadets, is slower than the Damselfly's ship, so it gets away basically. 2 weeks later, after the attack, graduation day finally arrives. During the graduation ceremony, each character is brought forward and recognised for their deeds with great fanfare. Toward the end of the ceremony, Mert closes out with a few words memorialising those that were recently lost and promises to keep Spelljammer Academy open and safe. Each character can choose to remain at the Academy as a newly minted sailors in the ranks of the Spelljammer Corps. Conversely, they can enrol in a placement program where they are assigned a ship under the control of a captain who is friendly towards Mert and Spelljammer Academy. The characters are then dispatched to a coastal city and told to await the ship's arrival. As a reward for their heroism, each character is given one of these. This is for warlocks only, the Rod of Pact Keeper. Or you get given a shield, which increases your AC by 1, but it takes up one hand, so you can't two-hand a weapon if you have got a shield. You have to do the whole thing of putting the shield on your back and getting this two-handed weapon out or whatever as an action. Whatever weapon they've got, make it a +1. Bag of Holding, which they got taken off them, they get a new one. Goggles of Night. Anyone struggling with seeing in dark and dim light, get those dark vision goggles. Your time at Spelljammer Academy is over. The promise of a new adventure awaits in Neverwinter City, a city to the north. Bosun Tartu gnaws on her cigar and bids you farewell. Don't forget to write, she says with a grin. Far above you, in the space above Torrell, a moth-like ship appears, its purpose unknown. It waits, biding its time. Because that is where the actual new set of books is going to take place. It starts at level 5, and we are now level 5. Wonderful. Right, stats. That's Mert, Apprentice Wizard. The Gazers, as we discussed. The Hippo Shipmate, the Githyanki Warriors, the Ogre himself. Spectators. Star Lancers, Veterans, Map of the Academy. And there you go. The little adventures are done. I hope you enjoyed it, because I think that could be great fun. And I'm hoping to not play these, but actually be a player in the continuing books. Hand it over to my DM friend. Thank you for watching. I hope it helped. And come on, give me a subscribe, please. That's all I ask. Oh, and a lot of views. Thanks so much, guys, and see you later.